Ow, D, O, feel. Boom, 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 boom. Ow, D, O, feel. Ow, D, O, feel. Ow, D, O, feel, feel, feel.
Tonight the stars on Capone will shine long after I am gone. And where will I be this time? Tomorrow when I see them shine. I walk along the avenue where everything I thought I knew has left me without a clue. And empty streets and empty stores, windows covered up with boards, graffiti written on the doors. We must be crazy, you're so beautiful. Life is hasty, just like me and you. All these strangers working in the graveyard, lovers and haters. We must be crazy, out here in the night. Show me the light before I go blind. Out here in the night. Show me the light before I go blind. Tonight the stars you walk below, the same that burned so long ago. And in an age of stolen virtues, all your dreams deserted you. It's a long life to live, and I'm learning how to forgive myself for all the things I did. We are ordinarily beautiful, open to be ridiculed, common as the grass that grows so slow. We must be crazy, but you're so beautiful. Life is hasty, just like me and you. All these strangers working in the graveyard, lovers and haters. We must be crazy, out here in the night. Show me the light before I go blind. Out here in the night. Show me the light before I go blind.
Perfect. We're happy to have Milow here for an interview. He's presenting his new single, We Must Be Crazy, from the new album Silver Linings, which will be released end of March here in Germany. So, Milow, are you tired in using technology?
I am sometimes. I made an album in a very old school way. I try to make an album, record an album in a way that was very common in the 60s and the 70s. So that meant at a time where technology wasn't a big part of the process. So yeah, in that way, I'm saying no to technology for a little bit. I just like it. It's my kind of music. It's about warm sound, and it's about make a connection with the listener. And for me personally, I find it easier to do that if I can just use real instruments and a very warm sound. So technology sometimes is too distracting for me in the process.
But the new album sounds very different from the last ones. It's my personal impression.
Good. I'm glad to hear this.
A little bit more international, maybe, and a lot of more space in the music.
Great. That's actually, I'm really happy to hear this, because this is actually something I worked hard on to come up with an update for my sound, because this is my third album for Germany, and I didn't want to repeat myself. If someone would listen to the new album and they say it's exactly the same as the previous ones, that would be a disappointment for me. So I'm really happy with the results, and it's hard for me to say exactly why it is that there's space or that the sound is different, but this is just the album is the result of the last 2 years, where I took sort of a journey where I went back to my roots. I really took the time to recharge my batteries,
and at the same time to write new songs that were a little different than what I've done before. Of course, there's still the typical sound, like it's still my voice, it's still acoustic music.
A lot of substance in the songs.
That's again, it's nice to hear. Keep talking, please.
But maybe it is the Californian air which made it the difference, or the view over the ocean at.
I don't know.
Beach.
Maybe it's one of the many elements that helped influence this album. I don't know. I can just say like I was very tired at the end of 2011, so that was the year that my previous studio album North and South was released, and I just really felt I needed a time out.
Like a burnout?
Let me say, I didn't have a burnout, but all of a sudden I saw it come up at the horizon.
Okay.
I could see it, so actually I took a time out before it was, too late. So I just realized I think it's okay for me now, because I'm always working. I like to be busy, I like to play all the time, and so that gives me a lot of energy.
But you're doing music, it's not work.
That's true. But at the same time, I'm the first to agree with you. It's still difficult to me to look at what I do as work. But what I meant is, like, at the end of 2011, I mean, I wasn't really sleeping a lot. I was always in a tour bus, so you don't sleep as well. And
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
yes, all these things. And and I just felt it was okay. Like, after playing for 5 years in a row and releasing 2 studio albums and a live album, I just felt like maybe it's okay if I take some time, because I always feel guilty if I disappear for too long. But actually, I took some time off, recharged the batteries. I started writing songs without a deadline. I met a lot of people. And I think it's not really as literal as the California weather or the ocean. For me, it was more important the symbolic meaning of that place, and it meant it was outside my comfort zone, and my comfort zone is here in Europe.
And like a return.
And a return as well, because this was a place where I made a lot of friends, because I went to school there for a year when I was 17 in Southern California. And so it was sort of, on a personal level, I went back to my roots, and on the musical level too, because I've been growing up, I've always been influenced by a lot of music from California, from the 60s and the 70s. So it was on both levels, personal and musical, sort of a reconnection with my roots. And it was a very necessary journey for me. And I'm really happy that I did it. I only wanted to fly back to Europe if I had a new album, and I did it. I said I gave myself as much time as I needed. So I told myself, if it's 6 months, it's 6 months. If it's 1 year, 2 years, if it's 5 years, I'm just gonna take my time, and I'm only gonna go back to Europe when I have a new album, and when I'm really proud of this, and when I personally can say, well, this album is a big step forward since the past, my other albums. And I'm sitting here today hoping and thinking that this is what happened, but of course time will tell.
But it's also a step backwards, let's say, to the hippie, the flower power music, which is a little bit, or you can hear some influences.
Okay.
And also, did you meet some Jewish guys? Because one of the songs reminds me of Donna, 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 Donna. This Yiddish
Donovan?
songs. No, this, I think it is One Me Up.
Really?
So it is the chorus is like this Yiddish song.
Really? That's coincidence. No, I didn't do it on purpose, but a lot of my friends are Jewish. But that's, I think, a coincidence.
Okay.
For me, it's interesting. These are the first reactions that I get to the new album, because not so many people have heard it, because it's not released yet. So it's interesting for me to hear the connections people make. And sometimes it's coincidence. Sometimes someone says, this reminds me of my trip there, or this reminds me of this artist, I hope that people make connections with these songs. That's what I can hope for, but
And is the music scene in the USA different from the European music biz or music scene? You met a lot of musicians over there, so.
Is it different? Yes, it's different. I wouldn't say it's better or worse. It's just different. LA has become, the last 10 years, a magnet for the music industry in the US, even more than before, because it always was the heart of a lot of music. But a lot of studios in New York, and they closed because it was too expensive, and there's been a little bit of a crisis in the music industry. So a lot of studios closed. So they moved to LA because it's an easier place to find a place or a studio according to your budget. So there's really expensive studios, but there are also really cheap studios. And there's a lot of talent, a lot of good musicians, a lot of great engineers and producers. So that's why it has become a magnet, not just for American bands, but also for international artists. But again, this is not the main reason, because I could have made this album somewhere else as well, I think. For me, it was just about, I wanted to, and it's strange, I don't know how to explain it, but I just really wanted to work with people that didn't know my past. And it's not that I'm embarrassed, because I'm the person, I'm extremely proud of everything that happened to my music, and I'm very proud of the albums I've made so far. But I just felt it was a good thing, it would be a good thing for my music if I worked with people that didn't know how I sounded like on my other albums, that didn't really know me, because that would allow us to focus on these new songs. Because I always want to live in the future, I want to live in the here and now, I don't want to be stuck in the past. And I know that seems like a contradiction, because I am influenced by some older music, but it's a distinction that I find very important, is that sure, I'm influenced by old music and by the way that like albums were recorded, but at the same time I want to make music. This is music for 2014, so I try to give it a contemporary angle, and this is very much based and rooted in the here and now. And I liked it that no one knew me, that I just had to convince them with my guitar, just like I was doing audition, you know. And that's a little bit more complicated if I would do that here in Germany or in Belgium. Everyone knows me already.
Everybody.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
But
musicians.
99%.
No. I would say 97.
Okay.
No. I mean, no. There's a lot of people that don't know me. I'm getting distracted. No, but the thing is, if musicians would come, then they would probably already check out my music. They would know me already.
And try to adapt to your sound. Okay,
maybe.
I see.
Again, this is just a mind. This is a mental. This is how I work. Like I have a lot of mental processes to motivate myself and to inspire myself. And this is one of the reasons that I am at my very best creatively if I'm an outsider.
Okay.
And I always was when I got started in Belgium. And don't forget, I grew up in a country that is an outsider. It's an underdog. Belgium is a small country. It's not like Germany or like
with
UK or France. Yeah. So and now I was almost losing that outsider role a little bit, because if things were going so well for me, and that's why I felt I want to be an outsider again, just for the creative process. And I think this is the most important part, because I can tour for a month or for years, but it all depends on the songs, you know, if they're special. So in LA, very easy, very intimidating city. So it was very easy to reconnect with that outsider role again. And I like that, because that means when I go home, or you know, when I start writing songs in a city like LA, I tell myself I'm gonna show them what I've got. Like I want to prove them that I do something special.
Okay.
And this is very personal, because other people would find it too intimidating, and maybe they need more support but I like it when I can embrace that underdog position.
But LA is a small city. The music base, I think. But is it because of
the city of LA has as many people as Belgium as a country, so
okay, from this regard. But for me, it is.
You're from a big country, so that's true.
But is it also because of the first time? Because when you're getting older, there are not so many first times anymore.
True.
So
Absolutely.
Now this has been a first time again.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is for me, because I'm very much fascinated by the idea of first time, because not only in terms of the first time you hear a song, I think is one of the most important experiences, but it's something that I'm chasing, but it's very hard, because when I record a song, it's not the first time I hear this song. So that's why I like to include different people in different parts of the creative process, because then they have that fresh first time experience again. And this is what I count on, because when I finish this album and I say to the world, this is my new album, I count on that first, because the most I can ask for people is to give it one shot. But if they will listen a second time, will depend on that first time. No one is going to listen to it a second time if they don't feel anything the first time. There's too much good music that exists and that is being released every week for me to count on. No. You're only going to feel something after 10 times. No. So the first time is very important, and it's also because I'm convinced that some of the best albums that are made are first albums. But why is that? So that's something that fascinates me. Why is that from an artist or a band, the first album is often the most special? And I've been chasing that first album, like the debut album feeling for a long time. And you're right, like with this one, I mean, I hope that it can be my debut album in some new countries. But
In
I
the
wanted
US,
to, for example, but
there?
hopefully, but I don't know yet. So now I focus on Europe, but I think it is important that you keep that in mind, because that way I don't want to assume that someone knows a lot about me. I want to try to make songs that don't need a manual and that people can just listen to, they can interpret, and then they can they can find out about me. So because even though I know I have many albums, I don't know if someone will know all these steps I took. So I never want to assume that they know what I've done. I always want to chase that first time feeling, and that helped me to be in a city where for everyone it was the first time that they met me and that they knew me. And maybe next time it means I need to go to a different city, but that's okay. I could totally see myself doing that.
And do you know which will be your next first time? Do you have any plans for the next first time?
Like an overdose?
Maybe marry or something.
I don't have
else?
any. Honestly, I love every year to try things that I've never tried before. But if you ask me today, I can't really think about what will be the first time. I hope this album will open doors to me, that it can be the first time. But just yesterday, actually, last night I had a first time. I witnessed the landing of the plane from Brussels to Berlin. I was invited by the pilots to be in the cockpits.
Wow.
And I'd never done that, so that was
great.
unbelievable. Because I told them this, I will never. I've taken so many flights, but I will never forget that flight. That it was yesterday from Brussels to Berlin. It was unbelievable. So this is the great thing about, and I feel privileged and lucky every day, because this music, with my guitar, it brings me so many places, very unexpected. It's full of surprises, and there's a lot of first times always. And that's what I mean. The last 2 years, I went to play for the first time in Moscow, in Russia, in St. Petersburg, in Beijing and Shanghai in China. I went to Prague for the first time for a concert in December, and all these things. It's unbelievable and gives me so much energy. And I'm not saying that I'm not looking forward to another concert in Berlin. That's going to be fantastic too, but something very special about first time. And so who'll know? Next time we talk, we can. I will tell you. But so far, it's never disappointed me. It's full of surprises, and sometimes there's negative surprises. Sometimes there's positive things, but I love that I don't know what this year will bring to me. I really love that about my job.
Okay, so the next first time we'll have the listeners.
That's true.
When they listen to the new album.
I'll be very curious. If it were up to me, I would like to ask everyone who listens to my album after the first time they listen to it to let me know, and then we'll talk again. Next time at a concert, and then they can tell me how it changed the more they listen to it. But I love that. That's something that's so great about Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, is that for me, it's a barometer. It's a way for me to communicate with people who listen. And I spend so much, this is so strange. That's so strange about my job. It's 35 minutes. These 35 minutes basically sum up the last 2 years for me. But how strange is this? 30, that's it, 35 minutes. And so I put so much work in this. And so that's why I'm so curious to see what people feel. And hopefully they like it, hopefully this can be, part of the soundtrack to parts of their lives, who knows? And maybe for others, it'll just be background music when they are in the supermarket.
Or in the elevator.
But that's okay too. That's okay too. I guess music plays a different role in everyone's lives, and yeah, I can't wait to play this, to go on tour with these songs. So we'll see.
So if you would have to do a summary of the last 2 years in 35 minutes in one sentence, what?
For me, it was already such a difficult thing. Yeah, it was reconnecting with my roots, both personal and musical. That sums up, and it's in the album, and it's also that's how I experienced these last 2 years.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Dankeschön.
Ow. D. O. Feel. Boom, 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 boom. Ow. D. O. Feel. Ow. D. O. Feel. Ow. D. O. Feel. Feel. Feel.
Please.
But wind me up. The chorus is fun. She was the one queen of silver linings, building out and again.
No,
Sure, it's the song?
yes, sir.
Huh?
No, start the song from the beginning, please.
She's like a broken toy. I like this. I can't remember what you mean. Yeah. See, now I understand what you mean. That's true. Yeah, I never thought about it. Cool. Did you like that song?
Yes.
So what do you like? We Must Be Crazy and what?
And Wind Me Up a lot. So
Not too dark. Wind Me Up.
no.
I like how it's
Not
for me.
at
It's a
all.
night song about like in the middle, in the middle of the night, like driving around, city lights.
Yeah. No, I
But,
love melancholic
Yeah,
music.
and the trumpet.
I love it very much. Also from a lot of minor and.
Yeah. Me, I like that too.
That's my soul.
Cool.
No.
You like We Must Be Crazy too?
Yes, sure. These are my two favorites. But you know what I mean with this Yiddish song?
Yeah, of course. I know now. I know what you mean.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It was a
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you.